And this question is, I don't feel heard or respected in my marriage. My husband uses Bible verses to put me down and make me feel inferior.
Mm.
He specifically uses Ephesians 5:22 through 24. This person asks, what should I do?
Just hearing that makes my heart ache. I just want to say to whoever put the question out there, thank you for your courage in submitting the question and
Yeah.
asking it. I know you're not alone out there and experiencing this, and my heart aches for you. I hate that you're kind of experiencing this and facing this. That's not a fun place to be, and it's not the way it's supposed to be. I just want to encourage you that your creator and the author of the scriptures, cares about you and cherishes you. And it's not his desire that his word, which is meant to draw us closer to him and have us reveal him through the way we love one another, to be used in a way that would leave you feeling inferior or talked down to or lesser than in some way. That you are precious and cherished by him, that he sees you, and that he valued you so much that the gospel is about him coming to be with you and have a relationship with you. And you don't deserve to be treated that way and undermined in that way. So I just want to say that to you first and foremost. And I want to, honestly say it's frustrating to me to hear the scriptures be used in that way. That's I believe offensive to the heart of our God, who's about loving on and empowering people, not about oppression. And people have used the scriptures to dictate and to lord over, and Jesus speaks to that directly as he talked to the leaders and the men and the Pharisees of the day that he was there, and he chastised them about their use of the scriptures to burden and weigh down and control the people. And he rebuffed them and said, this is not my Father's heart. Like, you weigh down and you burden the people with these things. And he said, come to me and you'll find rest, you'll find peace, you'll find love. And so I just want to encourage you that's not the voice of your creator and your king. And that for the scriptures to be used that way is a real distortion of the scriptures. And it's not the heart of God. And I would encourage you to allow into the circle with you some other women that can be of support and encouragement to you. There's a great book called The Emotionally Destructive Marriage that I would encourage you to check out, that can really help delineate between healthy biblical marriage and relationship and what that's supposed to look like versus what unhealthy, abusive, destructive dynamics look like. And I'm not saying I don't know enough about your story or about your situation to know if that's what's happening there. But I know that Leslie Vernick's book, The Emotionally Destructive Marriage, is one that would be helpful to you in determining whether or not the setting that you're in, what you're engaging, fits that criteria or not.
Yeah, so let's talk about these verses that she mentioned that the husband used. Okay.
Yeah.
And it says,
I have an undergrad in biblical languages,
husband.
Matt, and my degree in counseling is from a seminary. So I love kind of like deep diving into the scriptures and going, what does the scriptures say here?
Because it's so important to understand context.
Yeah.
And so she's quoting, or her husband is quoting, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, and so on. But verse 25 was left out. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her, like he died.
Right. That's a pretty high bar, isn't it?
I've always thought and preached that, men, the calling is higher on you.
Right, for sure. Totally.
So
Absolutely.
talk to us about that.
Yeah. And you think about Jesus and how he led, right? Think about how he
Mm,
loved. And you can go all through the Gospels, and what you'll never find anywhere is Christ lording over folks in a domineering sort of way.
mm,
Like he never drug anybody anywhere.
yeah.
Like leading is not dragging. He would say, "Follow me," right? And he
Hmm.
lived out an example of servanthood. He lived out an example of love. He lived out an example of washing the disciples' feet, serving them, and said, "Do like I do."
Hmm.
Right? Follow me. That was leadership. That was headship as Christ demonstrated amongst people. He wasn't finger wagging. He wasn't kind of telling them what they need to do. He
Mm,
wasn't shaming them for not doing what he wanted them to do. He said, "Follow me." And he led with example.
hmm.
That's what it means to love like Christ loved.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's, so if you're going to submit, then you're submitting to gentle leadership.
Totally. Totally. I mean, it's an entirely different paradigm
Mm,
than what you experience in a unhealthy kind of dysfunctional context. Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. Christ has a way of flipping things around
He
in his
does
kingdom.
that. Turns it upside down on its head, right?
Shakes it up, moves the goalpost. It's awesome. So if Josh, if this couple walked into your office,
Yeah.
um, how would you approach them?
Yeah. So if this couple walks into my office, the first thing I want to do is I want to suspend judgment, right? Like I
Hmm.
recognize that there's a whole lot that I don't know. I
Right.
appreciate the question that's been submitted. And there's a whole lot that I'm can assume or things that I can take a guess at about what's going on or how the dynamics are, based on other couples that I've worked with, other situations that I've seen. But I'm not going to assume that this couple, as they walk in my door, that I already know what's going on with them. And so it's going to be my heart to really try to get into the shoes of the husband and to get in the shoes of the wife, kind of understand what's not working for them, understand what it is that they hope for and that they long for in their relationship, and to work as a team to identify what those obstacles are and to be able to establish some new patterns in their life of relating and engaging with each other that can really enable them to feel close and feel connected and feel like they're on the same team with each other and to feel cherished by each other, to feel valued, that the things that they want and long for in life matter to one another, and that they're working together towards those things in their
Hmm.
family. And so that's what they're going to experience with me and with any of the counselors on this team. Like that's really our heart, that we know beneath the conflicts, beneath the pain, beneath the disconnect, is this longing for closeness and connection that
Hmm.
God wired into them. And that's the reason why folks come to marriage counseling, right? They come, they may begin with kind of going, they hurt me, I'm frustrated with, I don't like, the complaints, the criticisms, because that's the pain that's right in our face. But the real reason that they came is not to kind of air out their spouse's bad behavior. It's because they're longing for closeness and connection, and they want for
Yeah.
things to be different. And we know that, and we know how to help folks achieve that.